All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Alchemy Podcast. I'm your host, Doug Cartwright, and I am with a full circle moment.
Seriously, though.
Full circle moment. Carli Grampp, welcome to the Alchemy Pod. This is my first podcast I've done since my brain surgery and my brain cancer diagnosis. So this is a big moment for me.
I'm actually surprised that we got connected because, I mean, I've been following you for a long time. And
you have?
Yeah.
I feel honored.
Well, we have so many like weird connections that I remember us in high school together and I was like, oh, Doug, I love Doug. And so I followed you. And then when your sister was on The Bachelorette, I was like, that's Doug's sister, you know? And so anyways.
You've been fangirling.
I love Michelle. Michelle, I love you for real. You're the best. And so I was following you. And then when you posted your diagnosis video, like all I said was like, let's do this, you know, because, and I honestly didn't expect you to even really respond to it, but I really am like very honored to be here, like very honored.
It's great to be here because I remember your name sound familiar. I'm like, I know that girl. And then I clicked on you. I'm like, oh yeah, we were friends in high school. Mm-hmm. And we hung out for, there was like this little window. I remember there's like this little window my senior year.
Yes.
And my friends and your friends, we all hung out.
But we can't figure out who connected our friend groups.
I can't remember how it all connected.
Yeah.
But I remember having the biggest crush on you. And then we went different ways. And then life just brought us back together through cancer.
And, you know, what a gift. I always say, like, you can always find the gift. You and I have very similar mindsets, like things, little nuggets that you've said just like in the brief interactions we've had. I'm like, yeah. And I probably need to learn more from you because I did not stay as centered and conscious when I went through treatment. But yeah, it's
a big deal. It's a big deal. And now we're here.
Yeah.
So I'm also really curious because I don't know your backstory. It's like in my head, Carli was a cute girl in high school and then all of a sudden she vanished, right? Yeah. And now, you know, you're making an impact and you've gone through your cancer. So tell us about your cancer diagnosis. How did that all come to be?
It was actually fascinating. So my 33rd birthday comes around and I feel like I'm in like the prime of my life. I literally have this video of me 2 weeks before my diagnosis and it's my birthday and I'm like, 33 is my favorite number because I was born on March 3rd and that's 3-3. And so this is going to be the best year of my life. And like I posted it on Instagram. And then I had this lump in my left breast for like 10 months. And 10 months prior, I went to a gynecologist like you should. And I said, hey, I have like this marble size little hard rock. And you're supposed to come to your gynecologist when that happens. And I was dismissed and, you know,
What do you mean you were dismissed? Like, did they not look at it? They didn't?
No, they literally like went like this and.
What'd they say?
They were like, you are too young and you're too healthy to have cancer. And little backstory too, my brother just passed away a year ago from the same brain tumor that you have, but he lived 12 years and he was not supposed to live like. His was like worse than yours. He couldn't even get it removed. So I was
at Huntsman today and they're like, yeah, for your type, it's like, it's really aggressive. And it's like 15 months is like where you kind of end up. And so when I hear stories of people like 12 years, 15 years, it's like really inspiring. I'm like, I'm going to go for that number.
Well, it's always like the spiritually in tune, right? Like my brother, he's my little angel brother. He had this experience. I'm digressing, but I'll come back to my story. But he had this experience. He was in brain surgery. He left his body and was walking around the hospital with an angel. And they asked him if he wanted to come back or leave. And he said, I'll go back. And the angel said, you know, it's going to be really hard though, don't you? And he's like, yeah, I know it's going to be really hard. And then his life was really hard. But he was a miracle. And then...
Was there more to the NDE story? Because I love NDE stories.
No, he couldn't remember anything else.
That was it.
Yeah. And then his little daughter passed away, like
His daughter passed away?
3-year-old daughter passed away, like right after that. And so he was like, I know that the angel told me that was going to happen. And I agreed to it for some reason. I don't know why now, but my brother's like just literally
in tune.
Like, I can't even, right? Yeah. He's just like, he never lost his faith. He has been through so many things. And He always said that he has 5 little sisters. And so he said that he feels like he took on all the trials for all of his little sisters. And then I got diagnosed and his heart was just like broken because I'm obviously the favorite one.
Yeah.
All my sisters watching this, you know, it's true.
What is that like to have cancer with your brother?
Well, it's weird because glioblastomas are so scary.
Yeah.
And mine is like, oh, just get through treatment and you'll be fine. And so I kind of had this like, I'm fine. I don't need help. I'm fine. Like focus on Eddie. We literally went into treatment like the same week. His glio started growing and he needed to go back to radiation the week that I got diagnosed.
Wow.
And so we were in treatment together. And like he had come from Idaho into my mom's house to do radiation. And then like literally we started treatment the same week.
Wow.
Bizarre, like crazy, right?
Were you guys doing treatment to the same place?
So he was at Huntsman and then I'm now at Huntsman, but my insurance wouldn't let me go there. So, and for breast cancer, it's very standard of care, you know, it's like we do this. Okay. It's fed with this. Okay. This is your protocol. So I had that first lump, went to my gynecologist. They were like, you're fine. You're young, you're healthy. And to be fair, like I was really kind of rocking it, if I do say so myself. Like I was monitoring my blood sugar levels and I was coaching all these people and getting,
because were you in the fitness space?
Yeah. I just like love the body. I think it's so fascinating that we can like grow babies and then feed them and then get a 6-pack again. And so I wanted to like do that online. So that's what I was doing. So she dismissed me and then I was like, all right. And then it just grew and grew and grew and grew.
And when did it get concerning?
So I 10 months later was like, this is like half of my left breast at this point. Like it grew. And my husband at the time was like, yeah, that's really weird. And even my daughter like bumped me and was like, what is that, Mom? Like, yeah. So it was like very noticeable. And so I went to my gynecologist, a different gynecologist, because we had moved, and he did the same thing.
No way. When it was big.
He was like, Carly, you're like the healthiest person I know. You do not have breast cancer. And I was like, okay, that's what the other doctor said. I just like wanted to make sure, you know?
So what did he say? You're like, well, there's this huge thing in my boob. What is that?
Well, I just like trusted, right? I was just,
did they give you any
he said like it was a cyst probably, or, you know, they say you can have like dense breast tissue. And so I was just like, okay, that sounds good. And then this is actually fascinating and why what we're doing right now is super duper duper important to me. I was on Instagram and I was scrolling and I saw this bald picture, this girl who was bald, and she was gorgeous and it caught my eye because she was like doing this like beautiful pose like that. And I clicked on it and I watched her story and she was going through breast cancer treatment and she was younger than I was by like 4 years. And because she posted that, I called my gynecologist back and I was like, can I just get a mammogram? Because the only reason why they weren't sending me to go get a mammogram is because I was young and healthy. But like this girl, her name's Delia. She's freaking amazing.
Chatwin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Deals.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I bet you know the Chatwins actually.
I know Dylan and Derek really well. We worked together at Vivint for a long time. Those are my boys. They're homies.
I happened to start following Dylan and Derek because I have identical twins.
And I'm a twin.
Did I know that?
I don't think you knew that. I have a twin sister.
I do. I remember hanging out with your twin sister. What's her name?
Denise.
I feel like we hung out once.
Maybe.
I don't know. But bizarre. So crazy. And I was friends with Dylan and Derek in college for a second. So
cool.
So yeah.
Yeah, I love the Chatwins.
So good. Right. And Delia is like, she's amazing. So she literally diagnosed me because she was willing to share her story. So I called.
So you saw her story and you're like, I need a mammogram.
Yeah. And I honestly was like very peaceful at the time. Like I was just like, it's actually a miracle. It was like totally my soul because my conscious mind, I was just like so loosey-goosey about it, you know? Looking back though, I'm like, oh yeah. Like I was really, really, really tired. And like, I was really skinny. And now looking back, I'm like, oh, but you know.
Did it ever make you nauseous?
Probably. I can't remember because it was like 3 years ago. Is that your symptom?
My tumor was, well, first off, my symptoms were crazy personality changes. I was getting like schizophrenic manic episodes where I thought the world was ending. I'd get like this impending doom where I'm like, everyone's going to die. And what they were is they were seizures. There were mini seizures in my brain. And I didn't know they were seizures.
I did not know they could present like that.
Crazy. And then I got really nauseous. I get migraines and then I get really nauseous. I was throwing up a ton right before I went in. But I don't know if you experienced that.
No, because mine was just like taking energy, right? And so I was really tired. But I had personality changes though. But but mine wasn't in the brain. Maybe I just was like going crazy because I was malnourished or something. But yeah, I scheduled the mammogram. It was like 2 months later because of COVID, and my scan popped up, and the mammogram tech, her face like went white.
Wow.
Like she was like, "This is very concerning. This is very concerning." And we were like joking before, and then
so mood just switched.
Like I knew, I was like, "Oh crap, I think I have cancer." Like because I still didn't really like. Was that your experience where you like, nah, I can't have cancer? Like something else is going on.
I was like, when I first got the MRI results, our doctor was like, hey, this is really concerning. This is a massive tumor. And in my head, I'm like, I have brain cancer. So I'll share this story quick, and I was going to share this on a different pod, but I'll share it here. Here's what's crazy about this whole thing. So we're going to talk about synchronicities, and I want to finish your story, and we're going to go into it. The last time I did ayahuasca, ayahuasca is my medicine, right? I'm an ayahuasca guy through and through. It's my medicine. I was doing a lot of it in 17, 19, 20, kind of slowed down in 2021. 2024 was the last time I sat. So a year and a half ago, November 2024. My last ayahuasca ceremony, and I've done it 13 times. My last ceremony, the entire ceremony was me coming to grips and having to accept the fact that I have cancer. And I like had to go through that entire experience. So when you're in the medicine space, you think you're so real. It's I have it right now, I'm going to die.
Right.
And so I'm like, holy shit, I can't believe I have cancer. Like, because my dad passed of colon cancer.
Oh my God.
And I remember thinking like, I can't believe I'm going to do this to my mom and my family. And so I'm freaking out, like having to deal with it and accept it and go through this experience. So I get out of the ceremony, I go do cancer scans and colonoscopy, and everything comes back fine. So I'm just like, that was the weirdest ceremony. Like why, like the whole ceremony was about cancer. And I'm like, I don't have cancer. Like so weird. And then a year ago, I was in a men's group and people started talking about colon cancer. And I started showing, I was having some weird symptoms. And I'm like, they all lined up with colon cancer. And I'm like, holy shit, I think I actually finally have colon cancer a year ago. And there was a day in Austin, Texas, where I was walking around the city and I'm like, I have cancer, and I had to accept it again. And then I went and got another colonoscopy, totally clean. So I'm like, what is this cancer thing all about? It's so weird.
Were you like questioning yourself and like, am I going crazy? And like, did you start to like second guess your intuition or your experience based on that?
Yeah, I don't know what it was all about, but I kind of I brushed it aside. I remember even telling like I have one of my really close friends, Casey Baugh and Chelsea Baugh. I was at their house a year ago.
I know them.
You know the Baughs? They're some of my best friends.
Yeah, I know their little sister, Sydney.
Amazing.
And Chelsea's freaking awesome.
And I was telling them, I'm like, I think I have cancer. And they're like, no, you don't. I'm like, I think I do. I don't know. It was a weird feeling. And then I went in, no, nothing. And so when I finally got my cancer diagnosis, I was like, oh, I've already experienced this. In like my inner experience of consciousness, I've already had to climb the hill, especially in ayahuasca, and do the acceptance. It was still painful. It was still hard. But I'm like, I've done this before.
Wow.
It was really weird. I can't explain it. And so it feels like it's just kind of preparing me for this. So
yeah. And when I was talking to you, you said you kind of feel like it's a calling. I love that you said that. Can you speak a little bit more on that?
Yeah. I remember being in the hospital bed. And I had two really spiritual moments in the hospital bed post-surgery. And one of them was like, oh, this is a calling. I'm being called to level up.
Wow.
Spiritually, mentally, emotionally, the whole thing. Like, it's time. Now is your time to step up, and like really grow. I'm a true believer that Earth is a spiritual school where souls come to evolve. And the only way we can evolve is through experience. And the experiences are going to be really hard. I love to use the analogy, like you get this, you're a fitness instructor. So if I came to you, Carli, and I'm like, hey, I want to lose my love handles. And so I'm going to come to the gym. But the moment it gets uncomfortable, I'm going to stop.
You're like, no, that's like, you have to, that's the gift of it. You got to the point.
My love handles are never going away.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I look at life as this spiritual school, and I'm like, oh, it's going to require immense difficult situations for growth of my evolution of my soul. So where my spiritual beliefs are like, well, first off, I'm not scared of death at all. I never have been. Right?
Ever, even before journeying? Like,
I would
or
say
do
in
you
the
feel
last,
like journeying
again, weird shit's happening 6 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to start meditating on death. So I've been meditating on my mortality for 6 years. Like, what's going to be like when I die? Then about a year ago, I got crazy obsessed with Ram Dass, who's my favorite spiritual teacher now. And he talks a lot about death.
Yeah.
And he works with people who are dying. You know, he passed in 2019, but he works with people who are dying and aging. And so he has these lectures on death. And so I've been listening to these for like a year. And I truly believe that when I die, I'll merge back with God consciousness and eternal bliss. And so I'm not I think it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a great
just
thing.
like a recycling of energy into a new space.
Exactly, right? So I'm not scared of death. However, this experience is incredibly difficult. It does feel like a gift. So far, it's been like one of the greatest gifts in my life, truly.
Really?
Because all of my anxieties fell away. The stupid stuff like dating and money and what it's got, gone. Yeah. And I'm so present. And at the same time, I know that this experience is true soul evolution and it's perfect. I don't feel like this is a mistake.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's an error. I don't feel any victim mentality. The hard part though is for the people that I love.
Yeah. I think it's harder for the people that we love, like, especially because you're trying to follow your intuition, and then there's a lot of like pressure and force, obviously coming from a place of so much like love that they want an opinion because they don't want to lose you, right? It really, cancer is a family disease. Like totally. it just is. And you know, you said, is anything off the table? No. And so I'm sitting here looking at your Alchemy logo, and The Alchemist is my ex-husband's favorite book. And we just barely got divorced. And, you know, you talk about how your experience was when you got diagnosed. And I've never really shared this ever, but when I got diagnosed, I lost my shit. Like I was having like trauma responses like crazy, probably because I had seen my brother go through treatment and like the suffering, and like I lost it. And this is actually really sad, but I remember I looked at my husband and I said, "You're the reason why I got cancer, because you overworked me." And, you know, it's like, I've been thinking a lot about that. And of course you can say like, oh, you just got a diagnosis, you know, but like, that's really hard to hear from your wife, you know? And then I feel like from that point on, like, it was really hard, and he's getting a lot of like crap for, you know, leaving his stage 4 cancer patient wife, but like it really is, it affects everybody, like, and there really wasn't, and I love that there's a part of me that's like can see him like compassionately and like lovingly, even though it's been like horrific. Like, cancer is horrific sometimes for other people more so than it is for the patient. So when you say about your family, like, yeah, it's like navigating that is really hard, you know?
How was the conversation with your kids?
I mean, I was just kind of a badass, right? And so I'm just like, oh, mommy's going to get through it. And like my protocol is like, okay, you're going to get through this. You're going to be fine. You're going to be totally fine, you know, which actually isn't my story, not to blow the ending. But so the only thing that was hard was that, like when I had to shave my head, like my little twins were like really scared of me, and they like didn't want to hug me for a second. And they even still will look at pictures and they'll be like, "Mommy, remember when you were bald? You were really ugly." I'm like, actually, I was beautiful, but thank you. But so it was hard that way. And I feel like,
do you think they understood what was going on?
No, they didn't. Like, and I think I, you know, protected them as much as I could, but no, it's like, it's so hard. Like, How was it telling your family?
Well, here's this is the saddest. This is so sad. So I went into the hospital because I had crazy migraines.
Okay, yeah.
So before any of this happened, I just had a level 10 migraine. And I'm like, the day I went in, I was so skinny. I got to 180 pounds. I was skin and bones. I was yellow. I was throwing up 20 times a day. I thought I had mold poisoning in my house. It was the only thing that made sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So I'm like, it has to be mold. I had a flood in my house right when I moved in. I'm like, oh, there's got to be mold in all the walls. Turns out there's no freaking mold in my house. I was just so sick, grasping for straws. And so I go into the hospital and my pain was level 12. And
what did it feel like just in your head?
Like a balloon was being blown up in my head and it was pressing up against my skull and my head was about to explode. And so I'm in the waiting room trying to get to the ER and I'm moaning. I'm like, oh, just like, oh man, please, like yelling for help. I was so sick. Before I went in, I remember I was at my sister's house and I'm laying on her bed and I'm like, today's the day I'm going to die. I knew it. Like, I'm going to die today. I just knew it. And so I planned my whole funeral out. And I'm like, I've got to send this note to my mom because today, this is it. And so finally, my siblings were like, we're taking you to the ER. So the reason I was so hesitant to go to the ER is I went to the ER in January.
Okay.
And because I was having weird personality issues and like a little bit of migraines. I'm like, oh, you're just having a panic attack.
So dismissed, right? It's
totally dismissed. And so in my head, I'm like, I'm not insured. And that's a big part of my situation. I'm like, I don't have insurance on this. And so I'm like, I'm not going to, my bill was 15 grand when I went in. I'm like, I'm not going to go spend $15,000 for them to tell me I have a panic attack. So I waited to go into the ER. So the thing that was so sad was I finally go into the ER. My pain is so high that they give me opioids. Oh, wow. Like they gave me really intense narcotics. And so I kind of pass out. And so they take me in to do a scan on my brain, an MRI. And when they wheel me back, they're waiting for the results. I fall asleep. And so my mom is in the ER by herself.
Oh my gosh.
When the doctor comes in and says, your son has a really aggressive tumor. This looks like very intense brain cancer. And so she gets that information while I'm asleep in the emergency room. No one else is there. And then she has to spend the night with that information. And so she was just sobbing all night.
Because what time did you get? What time
was
that?
1 a.m. when they came back.
That's its own kind of hell.
That's my own hell. And so I wake up at 6 a.m. the next day and I'm like, why am I still here? Why am I in the hospital?
Because you had no...
I was gone. Like I was so drugged up. So I wake up and I'm like, Mom, why am I still here? And she is just like, I have to talk to show you this. So she recorded the, diagnosis and she's like, you have a really big tumor in your brain and you have to go into emergency surgery right away. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? She's like, yeah. And so luckily, again, by the grace of God, one of the best surgeons in the state, his name's Chuck Ridge, happened to be on call that night. And so I get the best freaking surgeon in Utah to do my brain surgery.
Because you had to do it at that hospital you were at?
Yep.
Holy crap.
So I have brain surgery the next day, Friday morning. They tell my family like, hey, it's going to be 2 hours for due to the surgery. It ends up being almost a little over 6. They take a piece of my skull about the size of like a sports trading card, take my skull out. And for 6 hours, Chuck goes in there, Chuck Rich, shout out Chuck, the surgeon, goes in there and pulls out my tumor. And he got 100% of it.
Holy cow.
Got really lucky. Sometimes they have like these little fingers that go everywhere. And
yeah.
He got it all. So that's good news on that. And then, kind of wait for the diagnosis.
Right.
Because the cancer cells are still in there.
Right. So because and for those of you that don't know cancer, right, it's like they get out the tumors and then they're like, you have microscopic little everything all over. And so we're going to hit you with all of these drugs. That's where you're at. That's where you're at.
Yeah. So I got the diagnosis of the grade 4 glioma, brain cancer, really aggressive. And they said, hey, you've got 18 months to live. So, I mean, it's just crazy to get that news. You're just like, wow, So the first couple of days for me was really intense, and I'm curious from how yours was. But like there were, right when we got back from the hospital, I went on a walk by myself. And it was just this moment of like, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, this is crazy. And I called some of my friends, and I had a couple of moments of just completely breaking down and just losing it, and again, it's not sad for me.
Yeah.
Like, I think death is going to be incredible whenever that happens for me.
For sure.
18 months or 18 years. But I'm just like, this freaking sucks for my mom. Yeah. And this sucks for my twin sister and my other siblings and my best friends. And like,
yeah, because my brother, it
you
sucks.
Get it.
Like, his birthday was yesterday, and we've been bawling all day, and like, it's so freaking hard. It's
so hard. Yeah. So you get your diagnosis. Were you afraid to die?
I was afraid of treatment. But I was very angry. I was really, really angry at at my husband. I felt like, so I was like angry, and I was like, well, if I die, I hope, and I was just kind of like really spicy. I feel like I directed a lot of my anger towards him just because.
And what were you angry about with him?
I feel like I had given everything, like, for 14 years, like everything that I had, and I felt like, and again, his experience is his own experience, but I felt like he couldn't be present with me through it, and like, I wanted to dictate, like, this is what I need, do it, and like, I was just like so overwhelmed in my life at that point. Like, I had been working, and I was a twin mom, and like, it was just like, I felt like I was never good enough. I didn't look pretty enough. I didn't make enough money. I didn't, whatever. And so like, going into the diagnosis, I was like terrified to be like ugly and bald and not have boobs and stuff. And I've never shared that, like, which again, it's like, that's me. That's my, experience with everything. So I was like, I was so angry. Like, I was like, you're not going to love me. And like, you're going to, you're not going to be there. And that actually ended up playing out without giving too much details, because again, I will always like love the father of my kids, and but I was just so angry, like, that I had to be bald, and that like I had done everything. I was so healthy. Like, I was the least likely candidate. I had done everything perfectly, and then it was like I was borderline stage 4 the first time, and they're like, you're gonna do the red devil chemo, and I was like, whoa, can I have any other options? And then when I asked for other options, certain people were like, if you don't do chemo, you're gonna die, Carli. And like, it was like very like, there's so much contention just around like the decisions of the diagnosis or the decisions of treatment. Yeah. Because, and did you experience that at all? Like,
the thing that's crazy to me is the moment you get diagnosed with cancer, everyone has the cure.
Everyone
has the cure to cancer.
I know.
I mean, I honestly, I feel grateful. Like, people have good intentions, but I've gotten everything from, you got to go to Costa Rica to meet this witch doctor, to this specific mushroom will save you, to this.
I have it all.
I mean, it's like
I probably legit spent like $20,000 just on random shit that we don't even need,
Yeah, no, like, luckily for me, I'm a science guy, like, I really am. I'm rooted in, I'm rooted in scientific method and whatnot. And I feel really comfortable with my oncologist and the doctors I've worked with and whatnot. So it doesn't really throw me off, and I don't feel like I get lost in these rabbit holes, right? It's like, stand on your left foot and jump up and down and tap your head and you'll be cured, I'm like, okay, maybe,
Yeah. Do you feel like yours is like a spiritual, like, do you feel like the creation of the cancer is more of like a spiritual thing?
My intuition, and I haven't shared this, my intuition says that and again, I could be 1,000% wrong on this. This is no data. There's no data on this.
Yeah.
But intuitively, I feel like my cancer started / grew because of my peptides.
No way.
Yeah.
Which ones were you on?
I was taking a lot. I was taking way too many. I was taking everything I get my hands on. And, at the time they're more regulated now, but at the time you're
Yeah.
like buying them from the black market, and I'm reading reports now that there's like a bunch of arsenic in these things and the unregulated. So I don't think it was like the peptide that got me sick. I think that they were just contaminated, and I probably had heavy metals, and I probably had
like,
arsenic, and I probably had.
It was just like your internal.
Yeah, I was
like
probably
terrain.
just poisoning myself. And actually, I do remember this. I remember, and I just am an idiot. This is totally my fault. I remember taking peptides in the fall last year. And I remember taking one, and it left like a histamine, like a swelling.
Wow.
And
Like
I'm
around the injection site?
Yeah. And I'm like, weird. And then I took it again the next day, did it again. And then I looked at the bottle, and it was lumpy and gray. And I'm like, that's not good. And I did 2 days in a row on that. I'm like, I have no clue what I just injected in my body.
And were you doing any of the growth hormone ones?
And I was also doing the growth hormone. So if maybe they didn't cause the cancer, but I think the growth hormone, I sped up the speed of it really fast. Because they said that like this thing grew in a couple of months, you know?
Yeah.
And so I probably grew it. And so now I've got peptide PTSD.
Yeah. Well, I know. I'm like, I'm taking one peptide, and I get a little bit like scared of the peptides, right? But I microdose a GLP-1, and that's it.
I'm off GLP-1. By the way, GLP-1 works really, really well because I've been on a GLP-1 since summer, and now I'm off, and I'm like, all I think about is food.
Oh, like
it's crazy.
Well, have you seen the new studies about the decrease in tumor growth with GLPs?
So it decreases tumor growth with GLPs. That's great. Yeah, I need one of those.
And yeah,
I got to get back up, but I'm like, where am I? I got to get where am I getting my source from? I don't trust what I'm getting.
Dude, that's my whole company.
Let's get it.
I got
my GLPs covered.
Well, because
can you get retatrutide?
Yeah, I actually legit. That's so weird you say that because I was going to bring you some.
But anyways, I'm curious, when you got your diagnosis, right? It's a big experience. You don't forget it. What changes did you make in your life?
I was thinking about this on the way down because I started to think and try to figure out, how did I get this? And then I started to become crazy hypervigilant, and I lost connection to my soul. It felt like, because my trauma responses were so big and so loud, that like I couldn't connect to that inner stillness and that inner meditative state. And so I think that I kind of like gave into whatever anybody wanted me to do at that point, because I just was like so upregulated that like I could not connect to peace at all. Zero. And then I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to crush this, I guess, you know? But what about you? Like after the diagnosis, what's changed?
For me, I felt the most amount of peace I've ever felt in my whole life.
I knew you were going to say that. I was like,
I think it was a scripture that says the peace that passes all understanding. I had that, and I still do. Wow. I feel so okay. I'm okay with dying. I'm okay with living for 20 more years. I'm okay with doing treatments. You know, I know that there's a lot of conversation out there about alternative treatments. Yeah. And I know people feel really, really strong about it. I'm not there. I do believe that if I'm going to beat my cancer, it's going to become my own body is going to do it. Yeah. So that's why I'm like really looking to immunotherapies and, you know, the peptide cancer vaccine, because it's just training your own body to beat it. I'm like, I don't think a medicine is going to beat this for me. Yeah. Like my body has the power to heal. My body's amazing. No, fun story. 2007, high school.
I was like, the year we graduated.
The year we finally had a crush on each other.
Seriously.
2007, I got diagnosed with Graves' disease, which is hyperthyroidism. And it's just uncurable. It's just a disease. The doctor's like, you're going to have to take pills for the rest of your life. You can either take your thyroid out, or you're going to have to take these for the rest of your life. I'm like, okay. You know, so I went in, was taking the pills, went back a month later for a checkup, and they're like, hey, you don't have this anymore. I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, yeah, it's gone. So my body has already proven that it can cure itself. Yeah. So obviously I'm going to use the help of science. Obviously I'm going to do, you know, all the things. It all works together. Yes. And
I think that's one thing that people really like about my story is that I did all of standard of care, and then I got a reoccurrence. Yep. And then.
So talk about your first round of standard of care. Was it helpful for you?
I mean, it was all gone, right? Like my
full remission.
but then my oncologist was like, I'll never say you're in remission because I don't want to play God. And I feel like that the power of the word is like really important to me. And I was like, how dare you, but then
No, say it.
I know. I was like, excuse me? I'm so sorry. What?
Yeah.
And then the medications that they had me on were really, really, really hard. They were really hard on my marriage because
What were some of the symptoms?
like just hot flashes, which are fine, but like the emotions.
Yeah.
And like I was so scared of having an emotional reaction because I didn't want to like make things worse in my marriage,
It's fragile.
Yeah. Just because and again, like it was pretty explosive and warranted. Like I have so much love and compassion for myself in that, right? But like I wish I could go back and change it and like stay more centered and stuff. But it was too much. It was like my brother got it and then like my niece died. And then when I got it, I think my brain went to like, oh no, one of my kids is going to die. And so I was not connected to my soul. It was all just like, right?
A lot of fear-based.
Yeah. And so so I stopped taking the preventative medication just because I'm like, I just need to actually be able to connect to my soul. Like I can't hear it. It's like my body's like freaking out and these are, it's like, I can't get past my brain. And so I got off of them and then I got a routine checkup and it was in my spine. And so which it means it's stage 4. It means it blasted through all my lymph nodes and it figured out how to get into my bloodstream. And so I have little bits all over just waiting to grow into tumors and I will be stage 4 for the rest of my life. And so I remember I was like, I told my husband, I said, I can't, like, I'm just going to be a really awesome angel on the other side because I was in so much like emotional pain and I was like, it was just a crazy, crazy time in my life. Like I was doing ketamine. I was, experimenting with like a few psychedelics, which I've never told before, but like the emotional like weight of it all was so overwhelming. Like I needed something to cut through it because I just like was waking up every day and I wasn't eating because I was scared of like the ingredients giving me cancer. And so I got really, really, really skinny and like, it was like I was in hell, and then the medications were making it worse. And then I was trying to do like some psychedelic work. And then I went and did the combo frog poison. Have you heard about that?
I've got combo. Look at my combo scars right here.
I have combo scars.
Right here. Combo with Meg. Shout out Combo with Meg. She's been on the pod.
There we go.
Yeah.
My mom was so mad at me for doing that.
Yeah. So was my mom.
Yeah. I feel like they could be friends.
Yeah, they should be friends.
But so yeah, when I was at such a low point, like I was praying to God every night, like, please just let me come home. Please just let me come home. Like I couldn't feel joy. Like I had nothing, like there was no soul in me. And, like it was the most horrific time ever. And so, I was like, yeah, I'm just okay to die.
How'd you pull yourself out of that place?
God literally plucked me out.
Yeah. And what is God to you?
Honestly, like for me, I'm a big Jesus girl. Obviously, I'm wearing my cross, but I feel like God once told me, like, if you're pointing the finger at somebody's version of me, then you're pointing the finger and saying that your own version is wrong because there's one source and it's me. And I show up here and I show up here and I show up here and I show up here. And so if you're saying, oh, that God's not the right one, then yours isn't the right one because there's only one source and it's me.
Beautiful.
And so like I remember like lightning strike when I had cancer and didn't know it. I had all these crazy spiritual experiences, like I'm sure you had too. And like I kept feeling like my grandparents were around me, and I was joking with my husband at the time, like, I hope I'm not going to die because I keep feeling like there are all these angels around me. And I like had this vision of me, like it was bananas. And it was like, I think the veil was just really thin because my body was dying. So my spirit was like, but
what do you think is going to happen when you die?
I love near-death experiences. I've read so many. And
do you follow Coming Home on Instagram?
Yes.
It's the best page.
So good.
So good.
I think that like I'll meet Jesus, and like I think Jesus is like really important, and especially for me. Like,
yeah, say more about that because I'm on a Jesus journey right now.
Okay.
So I grew up Mormon.
Yeah. Same.
Right.
I'm wearing my garments right now for the record.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Wow, amazing.
I know.
I grew up Mormon, left the church, and I was like, Mormon, no way.
Yeah.
Not for me. And then I remember
there.
the first time I had like a spooky, it wasn't, I don't know if I'm going to use the word spooky, but like a unique moment was my first night I ever did ayahuasca. And I was like, removed my records from the church, so far away from the church.
Oh my gosh, this is so fascinating.
So far away from the church. And then one night I did ayahuasca and Jesus was in my ayahuasca trip. And I'm like, what? I thought
Jesus was in one of mine.
Yeah. And I'm like, Jesus.
Wait, what did he, can you tell what he said?
I just saw him. He was just like in his glory. Like, I'm like, what? Like, and as I've done more studying with Jesus, I'm like, my opinion is like Jesus is an ascended master. Like and so I'm on a Jesus kick right now because I've got a lot of friends who are still Mormon. Shout out Baspa. And my friend Casey is putting together a trip to Israel to go to Jerusalem.
Told me that you're going to go. I'm so
And I'm like,
jealous.
oh, I want to go. So I'm like, I need to learn more about Jesus and I got to get back on the Jesus train.
Yeah.
And so I'm reading Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I have like my grandpa's Jesus Bible study thing. It's a Mormon thing. I'm watching The Chosen with my mom, you know.
That's the only thing that got me through. Actually, how did I get out of that? I watched The Chosen every night.
Good.
For months. Like I could like quote it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Good. So where I'm at with Jesus right now is I love Jesus.
I love Jesus.
Amazing human being.
Yeah.
Did he die for my sins? I don't know. Is he the savior of the world? I'm not sure. Is he an enlightened master? And if you follow his teachings, will your life be better? For sure. I'm also open to receiving revelation about it. I'm like, I'm open to anything. I've done toad venom in the woods. Like, you know, fire me up. I'm an easy guy. I like those spiritual opinions. So it's great to hear you talk about Jesus because, you know, I'm like, Jesus to me is, I think Jesus was here to bring love to the planet.
Yeah.
In every way. And so I love that idea.
Well, we talk about meditations. Shout out to Thomas McConkie. Do you know?
Love Thomas McConkie. I used to go to his lectures back in the day.
So did I. Well, I only went to one, but I freaking love Thomas McConkie.
Yeah, he's a great teacher.
Like, so good. And I feel like when I meditate, I would use his meditations that he had in his course, and I would go talk to Jesus. And like, so right now, like I'll go meditate and I ask Jesus to heal me, and like I'll do Wim Hof breathing, so I'm like really, really, really centered.
Yep.
And then with binaural beats,
You're blasting off.
Legit, like I'm like so conscious. Okay.
We got to get you on the Other Ship app.
What's that?
That's a breathwork app. It's the best one. It's better than Wim Hof.
Thank you. See, I'm learning all these things.
Yeah.
I needed you.
Yeah.
But no, I just ask Jesus to heal me, and then like things will manifest in the real world, and it's really cool and crazy. And I found ivermectin, fenbendazole. I literally wasn't looking for it. It was like God said, no, you can't die. Like, here's this protocol. I wasn't looking for it. I was literally done. Didn't want to. I actually was praying to die. Like, I was so done. Wasn't connected to my soul at all, and felt so like controlled and lost and like defeated, you know. And then now I've been able to help other people avoid chemo, and like I'm getting all these success stories, and like I'm putting you on a protocol, obviously. And how cool would that be if that was my mission in life?
So cool.
Like I would.
Yeah, ivermectin is really interesting to me. I'm not fully on the train for the ivermectin train yet, but I could be.
I'm only on the ivermectin fenbendazole combo train. I think
fenbendazole, yeah. So that's the combo, right? So
and for you, we're gonna do mebendazole because I think that crosses the blood-brain barrier better. And my brother never did it, so he's probably helping us.
Yeah, he could be. So I'm trying it. I'm not the type. There's people that are like, this is the cure to cancer. I'm not there. I could be.
Yeah.
You know, I'm open to it, and there's no side effects to it. So I'm like, there's no reason why I shouldn't be on it.
100%.
And shout out to my oncologist because I brought it up to him today, and he was I was assuming he was be like, no, you know.
Yeah.
But he was super cool about it.
I'm so glad.
Yeah,
and he's my brother's oncologist.
He was just like, the data isn't at the standard that we accept.
Right.
So we don't have the right data on it. There hasn't anything proven. However, there's been some interesting things that happened in mice that's interesting. And I would never talk you out of anything you want to do. And there's no, downside. You might have to check your liver every now and then. But other than that.
I love when people say check your liver and then they're like, chemotherapy.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's like, wait, what wrecks your liver?
Yeah.
Kiss Polly or, anyways, I could go down a rabbit hole. But
so that's where I'm at on it. And I'm always open to changing my mind. And
are you going to meditate and ask Jesus to?
I could. I need to start asking Jesus meditation. I don't ask Jesus my meditations.
Oh, it's so crazy.
Yeah.
Like legit, I'm not kidding. One time I was doing Thomas McConkey's meditations, and I had an allergic reaction on my foot. Like I had gotten a bunch of ant bites, and it was like inflamed, and I couldn't go to the doctor until Monday. And they, like, I sent a picture to them, and they're like, "Oh, you need to get on like a prednisone or something."
Yeah.
And so I did a meditation, and I imagined Jesus, and like he was like with a bunch of people, and then he like saw that I was there, and he turned to me, and he came to me, and he like bent down, and I was like, "Oh, no, like you don't have to bend down to," and he like to. I just was wondering if like I could be like the person and touch a fiber or something,
Yeah.
you know. And he like looked up in this meditation, which you've been deep and you get when it kind of takes on a life of its own. And he looked up and he was like, "Carli, I want to heal you." And I like started bawling in this meditation, and then the next morning, the inflammation was gone. Like my foot was legit healed. I'm not kidding.
I mean,
I was like, Jesus healed my foot.
I do believe that our bodies are capable of doing that, and you know, it's so that I'm holding two realities now. Reality number one is I'm going to die. This could be my last April. Like I'm going to die soon. You know, holding that reality.
I gotta hold your hand for that one.
Yeah, not scared of that. It's funny when I tell that to people, they get more uncomfortable than me.
Absolutely.
They're like, "Don't say that," and I'm like, "Well, I can hold that. It's reality,
like,
right?"
Everyone's gonna die.
So that's a truth for me.
Yeah.
Also, at the same time, I'm holding the other truth that I'm going to live for 18 years, and I expect a miracle, and my body can heal itself, and I'm willing to try the things. I'm actually the most excited about some of these clinical trials that are happening across the country. There's some really cool things happening.
It's kind of a cool time to have cancer.
There's never been a better time to have cancer.
100%. Like they told me I had 2 years to live, and I'm like,
you're
totally fine.
You're crushing. By the way, do you know how much freaking comments and DMs we're going to get because we're talking about ivermectin and cancer on this podcast?
I was going to say, everyone's ready?
We're going to get spammed on this. Just
Paris Hilton commented on mine.
Did she?
Legit. She was like, "Oh my gosh, I did a reel on it," and she was like, because I talked about my brother, because I had a PET scan the day before my brother's funeral.
Yeah.
The day before.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to show like spread everywhere because I wasn't doing their medications. My radiologist was so nervous about it.
Yeah.
And I had been doing the protocol, and I was like, I feel like I'm going to be fine. It's crazy. And I was totally fine. And it was a miracle. And I got to like go to his funeral, like passing on the miracle torch.
Amazing.
And so Paris Hilton saw that reel, and she was like, "I love this." And it was, so I kind of want to bring this gift to the world. Are you in?
Yeah. You're on your own on this one so far. I'm a participant on the ivermectin. I'm not there yet. I'm not saying I won't be there.
Don't just say ivermectin. You have to say ivermectin and thenbendazole together.
Whatever she
said. With the carriers and the fat.
She knows. I'm doing it. I want everyone needs to know that I'm doing it, right? I
forced him. I was like, just kidding. I'm like, I'm bringing you a protocol.
You did kind of force it. And my sister Michelle forced it on it too. She's like, "You need to be on it." So she's on the train. You and my sister Michelle can be best friends.
Legit.
Right?
I love her
best
already.
Friends. So again, I'm not opposed to it, right? But I am a I'm a science guy.
That's why I brought you that book, Roger's book. Yeah, shout out to Roger. It has all the science in it.
So I'm not against it. I'm not against any of this.
I know.
So it's like, will I get a testimony that Jesus is a savior of the world? And maybe at the same time, the ivermectin too. It could be 2 for 1. I'm here for both of them. I'm a very open guy. I have no problem changing my mind.
And I think I needed to learn that in this cancer thing. Like the fact that I even told anybody that I like did psychedelics, like I'm like, because I'm like, oh no, I'm a Jesus girl and I love Mormonism, and like, but I feel like I can.
I mean, we can have a whole nother conversation.
Yeah,
because I wrote a book on psychedelics. I mean, did you not? I don't think if you knew that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, my first book called "Holy Shit, We're Alive" is all about a lot of it's about my psychedelic journeys.
Well, I need to go read it because mine were gnarly. Yeah. I've been, I guess, liking things on the side, but
psychedelics have been. I don't really participate in psychedelics that much anymore.
Yeah,
I feel like that part of my life has moved on.
Yeah.
I did have this moment this morning where I'm like, oh, it would be really cool to go into an ayahuasca space or a mushroom space now that I have this diagnosis and I have cancer, just to see how. I mean, it'd be probably really intense changing that relationship with that. And I know you did that.
Oh, right? It was like gnarly.
How did it change your relationship with cancer?
I hate it. I feel like you're not gonna like my answer, but for me,
I'll love your answer as long as it's truth.
It's truth. For me, I think that I was like duped by a counterfeit, and it like totally ruined my family.
Really?
Yeah.
Say more.
I feel like there's the real thing. There's like consciousness. I feel like Aya is different. You're like barfing, right? Like combos, like you're
I've
barfing.
never thrown up on ayahuasca. I've done it 13
Okay,
times.
you're a king. I can't. That's amazing. I've never done it.
I go to interdimensional space and reconnect with God.
Dang. Wow.
It's gnarly.
Yeah. Well, for me, I feel like all of the answers that I got were actually like totally not good for me, and they I feel like people kind of get sucked in and lost. We were talking about this the other day.
Totally.
Like totally lost. And I feel like I experienced that. I didn't like I was kind of bananas on them, you know, and I made decisions thinking that I was getting revelation from the medicine. And then like, you know, my facilitator's like, if you don't listen to the medicine, it's going to stop talking to you. And so I felt like I had to. It was like not great. It was not good.
And I'm glad you're talking about this too, because it's a major problem in the psychedelic space.
Yeah. Well, and I think everybody leaves Mormonism and then they go there. Normal spirit cannot compete with the magnitude of psychedelics.
Yeah, it's so intense and so overwhelming. And if you have the wrong facilitator and the wrong set and setting with the wrong mindset, it's
if you do it too many times,
it's going to make it worse.
100%. Like it was so disorienting for me. Like Jesus did tell me to find him in strong women. He said, if you want to find me in strong women.
Beautiful.
Cool.
Beautiful.
I know. And that was like the only good thing.
Yeah.
Of the journeys, but it I like look at my body. I'm like, ugh. Like I when I was in chemo, I did mushrooms and they were helpful.
Yeah.
Because I watched that documentary about how they, you know what I'm talking about, how to change your mind on Netflix. Yep. And so I was so low at that point. I was like, I don't even care. I was praying. I was asking Jesus for help. I was doing all the things and nothing could break through the strong medications that I was on. And so I feel like there's a time and a place, you know, and I'm grateful that like mushies gave me a little bit of a break during chemo, and so did ketamine. And I'm grateful for that. But then I think there needs to be you need to come back down and there's beauty here.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Life is happening here.
And life is so beautiful.
It's best.
It totally is.
My experience of life, my perception of life, the tint on planet Earth has changed for me. Like it literally physically looks different.
Really? Mm-hmm. Can you say more on that?
Yeah, it's just, you know, my favorite thing in my life right now is going outside in the morning and listening to the birds. And for whatever reason, when I'm out there now, the only thing that's going on in my brain is listening to the birds. I'm not listening to the birds and thinking about work, or listening to the birds and thinking about dating, or listening to the birds and thinking about X, Y, Z. Yeah. I'm just listening to the birds. And I'm so present and it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm moving through life right now is just this deep level of presence that I've never experienced before. And I can say that cancer has been the greatest gift in my life so far. Wow. Like my level of just centeredness, calm, peace, presence, you know, is at a level I've never experienced.
Which is a miracle in and of itself, right? Like we have to see that and be like.
I'm a coach by trade, right? I coach people. I have clients.
Same.
I've never given better coaching calls my whole life. I'm tapped. I have a direct phone line to God, and I'm just tapped in and flowing. And like, I can easily say that this is not a mistake. This is not an error.
Yeah.
Whatever time I left, I have.
Yeah.
And I'm going to enjoy this to an extent that I couldn't even imagine. And no one can take that from me. No one can take away my decision to enjoy brain cancer. And I'm going to enjoy the whole thing. It's amazing. Is it going to be really hard? Yes. Is it going to be, there was a moment I'll never forget, ingrained in my head. I'm about to go into surgery and my family's around and they're about to wheel me into the operating room, and I start crying. So I'm like, it just felt big, and I just let it flow. And then I had asked my mom, and I'm like, Mom, can you turn on the Ram Dass song called My Heart Song? And it's just Ram Dass, and he's singing this song about becoming love. And I was feeling so much sadness. I was feeling so much love at the same time that I'm like, I need to be fully present in this moment. I'm not going to push it away. I'm not going to avoid it. I'm not going to try and be strong. And we all just kind of cried as a family. And the depth of that experience was so beautiful. And I'm so grateful that I didn't try and push that moment away and just let it be what it was.
Yeah.
And I've taken that into the rest of my life since that moment.
Yeah.
Like there's nowhere else to be but right here.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful for you. And I'm grateful for cancer. And whether I've got 18 months or 18 years, the gift that it's already given me of presence, I wouldn't trade for the world. So if I had to get cancer to get this, it was worth it.
I feel like since I've gotten cancer, crazy spiritual experiences happened to me. Like I feel like I'm tapped into something, like when you get so close to death.
Yeah.
And I was listening to The Power of Now on the way over here, and I'm like, I'm so bad at presence. And like coming here, I was getting nervous, like, oh no, what if I say that? And I'm like, no. You be present. And like, we've like had eye contact the whole time, like, and we're just here and in it, and it's quiet. And it's like, this is a sacred, and everlasting, like, no matter what happens or whatever. And I bet my brothers are here. And like, I feel sad that like I told God, like, please just take me, I want to die. But I couldn't feel any more joy in life. And so I'm envious of your experience, and like, I'm here for it. Anything you need, and now I have like 50% babysitting. So I like feel like a free woman, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You text me, I'll be there.
Yeah. Well, tell me this as we wrap up here, we're over time here, but I'm curious, as you move forward.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to, and what's your mentality as you navigate this cancer that's all up your spine now?
Well, actually, it's not anymore because I got rid of it with ivermectin and
amifampin.
It was, but I just got a PET scan with a little bit of these dots because I stopped doing it for 2.5 months, and the divorce was just really hard, and it was just like, I need a minute, Yeah. But what am I looking forward to? Actually, I'm looking forward to being the pillar and the example of like the mindset that you can have post the worst things that can happen to you, and you can still create joy. And like, I can, do push-ups again, and like they cut into me, and they, I've had so many surgeries, and like I'm restored, and like I was bald, and I have this beautiful hair. Like that to me is the gift that I want to bring the world, and just to say stop, and like, you have a body and it's working for your good, and like, just be in it for a second and love it, and stop saying like, oh, I need it. It's like, I kind of believe if, in the Mormon tradition, it's like Satan didn't get a body, and he was really upset that he didn't get a body, right? He was like, isn't there a story about like going into a pig's body or something?
You're asking the wrong guy on that one.
I feel like there's some story where like in my head, maybe that's like folklore, I don't know. Yeah. But I always thought like, why would Satan be so mad that he didn't get a body? And it's like, because there's like legit magical power of like we are a creator, and like we are experiencing the divine in physical form, that, you know what I mean? And so like, we have this gift, and if I were Satan, I would attack it. And you can see every single girl looks in the mirror and says, I hate my body, it's disgusting, particularly after they have children.
Yeah.
Like after they create life, like the first thing we do is like this pain body of like disgust and like self-loathing. Like, to me, that is a force that is trying to keep the beautiful creators of the world down. And like, I want to be the pillar of joy and hope in that.
Pillar of joy and hope. I love that. I'm inspired by you, Carli.
I'm inspired by you.
Yeah.
I'm like, I literally was like, I just want to be around Doug. I feel like I have so much peace around him. And
I got to another level of peace. It's just like radiating through me. It's great.
Yeah. I'm like, can you just like hug me and I'll fall asleep so that I can like absorb it?
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to just sharing this message with as many people as I can. Like, I'm here to serve till I die, for sure. Like, until I die, I'm going to be serving.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Again, 18 months or 18 years. That's kind of my new link. That's my new catchphrase. 18 months or 18 years.
Whatever it is. Time's an illusion, though, right?
Yeah, whatever it is. I'm here to serve. I'm here to help. I'm here to be fulfilled. Taking coaching calls right now is my favorite thing, because I just feel inspired to share. Yeah. And yeah, I'm here for this whole cancer journey. And thanks for those that are listening along. I'm sure we'll have more content. And thanks so much for coming on, Carli.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Love you.
Love you.
Okay, bye.